For the second consecutive year, MSNBC is teaming up with the 92nd Street Y to celebrate 7 Days of Genius, a week-long event focused on the transformative power of genius to change the world. The week features conversations with thought and world leaders in the fields of politics, innovation, science, and morality. Joining us now for such a conversation is best-selling author Rob Bell. His new book is How to Be Here: Guide to Creating a Life Worth Living. Rob, the interesting element to me about this book, not your first book obviously, is you get a concussion.
Yes.
And out of the concussion and out of thinking about various elements of your life, what's going on in your life, we have this book. How does that happen from a concussion?
Right. Well, I think I was, like a lot of people, you have emails, you have voicemails, you have places that you're going, things you got to do. It's go, go. And I'm a product of the modern world like a lot of us, where you multitask, you learn how to work hard, you learn how to achieve. But when I was 30, I hit my head water skiing, doing backflips. And whatever the concussion closed head injury was, my brain didn't have the energy to think about the future, which is where worry comes from. And my brain didn't have the energy to think about the past, which is where regret comes from. It was like I could only be here.
You've never worried about anything in your past?
Well, I think when you talk to so many people, we have all this stuff like ping-ponging around in our brains and our hearts. We're talking to somebody, but we're here. You're having lunch with a friend, all of a sudden their phone rings, and now they're with you, but they're also somewhere else. You're wondering if you're going to get a text. But I hit my head, and I could only be here, and it was traumatic, but it was also great. There was this, the present moment has so much interesting things going on, and it was almost like I tasted a way of being, but I had no skills, technique, muscles to actually do that, because all I know is you just keep racing to the next thing. So in some ways the book is 15 years of trying to figure out how to live like that without the hitting the head part.
Yeah, so the concussion forced you to be present, and there are so many different books and guides as to how to be present, whether it be through meditation. You talk about spirituality, and when people hear spirituality, they wonder, what's the difference between spirituality and being spiritual and being religious?
Great question. One of the things I noticed about a lot of the discussion about being present, being in the moment, is it's often about detachment. You know what I mean? It's like sit on a cushion for a half hour, go up on a mountain. But if you've got young kids, if you have to be at a desk for 3 hours every morning, you don't really have the luxury of all kinds of hours where you can step out of your life. So one of the things I want to do with the book was simply talk about how can you be present when you're actually doing laundry, when you're actually going to work, when you're actually trying to live a life. I think spirituality is best defined as your understanding or your awareness that this whole thing is a gift and that what you do with it matters.
How do you maintain or achieve some level of spirituality in this day and age when we have Google and Twitter and texting and Facebook and Instagram and so many things that clutter up your day, leading to less conversations, less eye contact?
Right.
How hard is it?
Well, one of the things I've noticed when I've been with people who seem to be especially present is they had a certain rhythm to life. They're not always checking their emails. They check their emails at certain times. One of the things I notice is how many people, they might leave their cell phone in their car when they go into lunch. And the people who, when I was with them, I would think, I want what they have. Often you start asking them questions about their life, and they're like, I wake up, I do this, then I do this. They have a certain rhythm of life. And I think for many people, the day sort of happens to you. It comes flying at you. But if you look back over the great philosophers, thinkers, artists, activists, politicians, the great leaders, oftentimes, there's even an interesting book called, I think it's called Daily Rituals, which just chronicles the daily routines of people who seem to be extraordinarily present to their lives. And they often would have some sort of rhythm or art to their life, which I find very compelling.
We have to get you back when we have more time to talk about this, when we put our cell phones away and listen more to you. The book is How to Be Here. Rob Bell, thanks very much. Be sure to head to msnbc.com/genius to make your pick for the ultimate genius. He's in the running. And make sure to catch some of the events from the 92nd Street Y. Live stream it at MSNBC.